Family is not defined by our genes, it is built and maintained through love. And that is true. And a lot of people have not experienced family and love and nurturing because they're either missing a family member, or a family member may have died, or maybe they never had an experience with nurturing family. And family doesn't necessarily have to be the birth family. It can be adoptive family, it could be extended family, or it could be a different gender role that is more nurturing and there, or is equally nurturing and there for you as a baby growing up. And usually in the first 5 years of a child's life, if they don't have some type of love and nurturing and feeling that they're being cared for, they're not able to thrive and survive successfully. And this is true. And I believe that the reason why there's so much fighting and there's so much hate and anger between genders is because people have been taught to be in a role, and they feel that a man is not supposed to be nurturing, and if a man is nurturing, that he's a wimp and that he's a sissy and that he's easy and that he's not tough and he's not strong. But this is untrue. Males can be strong, they can be nurturing, they can be loving, they can be kind and caring and still be a man and have the manhood. A lot of people who were taught these beliefs are an older generation, and this is not true. Males can do some of the same things around the house the same way females do, like the cooking, the cleaning, nurturing, reading a story to the kids, helping with the children. This is not just a woman's job. And I believe that is what messages have been misconstrued. Men can be loving to their children just as women are loving to their children. And so that is a real big misconception, that males cannot show loving kindness, and if they do, that they're whipped and they're simps and they're weak and they're not men. I believe it's harder to be there for the children, to work, and to also take care of a family himself, and to be nurturing. Those are very, very, very strong roles as an individual, as a person, as a father, as someone to be the head of a household. And for anybody that steps into that role, be it male or female, it's a lot of responsibility to take on. Because the way this world operates, you have an economy where you pretty much, if you're not really wealthy and if you're not making a lot of income, you need almost 2 jobs or 3 jobs. Or if you're in a relationship, those 2 incomes are contingent on whether you're able to pay your mortgage or your rent and buy food and pay for babysitting fees and healthcare and what have you, and all the other things and above. And so you have to squeeze in time to be with your families, and it can be a task in and of itself. But these things that people have been saying, that only women should do this work and men should do that work, that is not the case. Males can do laundry, they can help with the children while the mother is doing laundry, or it could be a role reversal. I believe that a lot of these things that people were taught were trial and error. And some of it was an older generation, and a lot of it came from religion and from culture and from a patriarchal standpoint of view. And being a parent, having parental relationships, should be both parents, not one. So simple things like reading a book, changing a tire with a child, you're engaging that child in some activity. You're not only engaging them in an activity that's positive, they can carry it out for the rest of their life, and you're spending quality time with them. 30 minutes is better than no minutes at all. Reading a book, changing a tire, helping cook a snack, make a snack, talking to your children is better than not having any time spent with them whatsoever. Those things are precious. Those times are precious. Those moments are precious. And they mean a lot. They're worth more than any money can buy. Anything that money can buy. And a lot of times, kids remember these things. They're like little photographers. And in their mind, they have either good memories or bad memories. And you want to put as many as good memories in their head, in their little photo album, as you can possibly do for them. Because it shapes them into whom they're going to become later in life. And a lot of times people are caught up in a lot of these stereotypical roles because they were taught these things. But think of all of the mistakes that our parents may have made, and maybe their parents' parents made, because of patriarchal beliefs or maybe matriarchal beliefs also. A woman should be in the kitchen. A woman should be there to procreate. A woman should be doing this woman's work, or a man should do this work, and a man should do that work. But the kids need both parents. And then if they don't have both parents, they need family, extended family. They don't necessarily have to have mom and dad together. They just need to be parents. And if they're not parents that are there are other extended family members that are there that can take the place very well. So a lot of times you'll have males that maybe the child is not his child biologically, but he comes in, he meets someone, and he steps in as the role of a father. He could be an uncle, he could be a brother, he could be a cousin, and he can do just as good a job as being there for that child. So this is the misconceptions that are thrown about so often, that women are single and they don't have a man in the home. Are you forgetting that these women, they have brothers, they have cousins, they have uncles, they have other men that are extended family members that exist in their family? So you also have people who will adopt children. So you have a myriad, many people of different backgrounds, different races, and different, maybe speak different language. Maybe they're interracial couples or relationships. They can raise these children as well and do just as good a job. And see, you got people who don't even want to see people of different backgrounds and different races be together. And see, these are mean and hateful and spiteful people that maybe in their lives all they think is one way. Things should be only one way, and they don't want to see nobody else happy. So they put out a lot of anger and they release it on the people who are unsuspecting victims of all of this craziness. But you see that there are different people from different backgrounds who can be just as good as a family, whether they're adopted family, extended family, maybe they married into a family. They can be just as good of a family unit even if the original mother and father aren't together. And so a lot of people don't talk about this. They're so busy talking about how this woman doesn't have a man around. And what that says to me is that you got a group of people who they're no longer able to manipulate women like they used to. And it's easy to manipulate women when you make them feel as though that they're the weaker sex and they have to accept abuse. And if you haven't gone to school, if you hadn't gone out and done anything with your life to better yourself, and all you pride yourself on is meeting some woman to become your next victim and you're a predator, and all you want to do is just lay up on her, eat up the food, hang outside, drink and do drugs, sleep with different women, then come back and give her grief. And now that she's gotten a backbone and decided, I'm going to go to school, better myself, do better. Now she's desiring better for her kids and for her life and for her kids' life. You no longer want to be involved with that. You want to slander her, belittle her, and put her down and hurt her and the children. Possibly have her children taken away from the home so she no longer has children or custody of the kids. And that's not what a family should be. If you're a woman and you don't want better for yourself and you just want to stay home and you don't want to try to better your life and better your kids' life, and you giving the man grief because he's trying to be there for the kids, he's sitting down doing the homework with the kids, he's trying to pay the bills, you just sit around complaining all day. You don't want to do nothing with your life to better yourself so that maybe both of you could pull in an income so you can make things better for the both of you. Then this is not helping either. And so you have a lot of this, and that's what's going on, I believe, in some of the homes where people can't get along. So they're bickering back and forth instead of trying to find a resolution to solve these problems. They just keep bringing up all the problems with no way of help in sight, no resolution, no way of seeing their way through it. So you have all these different families. They could be from different backgrounds, different walks of life, but they manage to try to stay families. Even if they're not biologically, maybe they didn't even birth these children. They adopted the children. You'll see people of different backgrounds with different races of kids. Maybe they adopted the children. Maybe they have their own biological child and they adopted two other children. A Hispanic, maybe a white kids, and maybe Asian children, and they want to be a parent to them. I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, somebody else out there who's mean and hateful may not even want to see that. All they want to do is see people fighting and angry with one another. They don't want to see people get together and enjoy life and be a real family. They hate seeing unity. They hate seeing people mature in life and want better. And if they see a man that's happy with a woman, maybe let's say these kids are not his. He comes in, he enjoys the kids, he enjoys being with the kids, and he helps her raise the kids. They're not his. But he's called a wimp, he's called a simp, he's called all kind of negative names. He's called names because he's being there for the kids. He's having fun with the woman, he's having fun with the kids, and they're bashing him because he wants to be loving. How is that being a wimp? How is that being a sissy by being there for your family and being loving? I think that's actually harder for anybody, woman or man, to be consistent like that and then have a job. Maybe she's gone back to school to try to better themselves, and then they got to make time to cook and then spend time with the family. That's a responsibility. That's a lot right there. That is more the work done. And you got some people who don't want to do that. If you want to have productive families, if you want to have productive citizens for the future, your kids to grow up with a healthy life, you got to be there for them, even if you're not intimate with the other parent. That's family. That's what a family is made